and welcome to our Planning Committee meeting today. I can assure you it's nice to be here. Before we begin, I would like the Principal Clerk to explain the health and safety arrangements for the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. So members have been asked to take a lateral flow test before attending this meeting, and any members who've recently contracted COVID-19 needed to have tested negative on 2 successive days to attend. We've got the Perspex screens in front of you today, and also hand sanitizer for your use. We would kindly ask if members wouldn't congregate in the chamber or elsewhere in the building today, if possible. And also, in order to keep numbers down within the chamber, we do have our officers joining us remotely via Zoom. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Item 1 on the agenda today is apologies for absence.
Yes, Chair. We've received apologies from Councillor Peter Elliott, Councillor David Hancock and Councillor Maggie Jones.
Item 2, declarations of interest. Members are requested to declare the existence and nature of any disclosable pecuniary interest and or other interests not already on their register of interests in any item on the agenda and withdraw from the meeting at the appropriate time. Do any members have any interest to declare?
None have been received, Chair.
Thank you. Item 3, excuse me, minutes of the last meeting. We now have the minutes of our meeting held on Tuesday, the 22nd of February, 2022. Are we happy they are a correct record? And if they are, is there a mover? Thank you, Councillor. Seconder, thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. The motion has been carried. We move to the main business of this afternoon. We have just one application, the late representation reports and the report on appeals lodged and determined. I'm happy with this and intend to consider the business in that order. Before we begin, I would like the clerk to explain for the benefit of members, speakers, and those watching the meeting on YouTube how we will deal with the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This is the procedure for considering the application this afternoon. The Chair will introduce the application, then ask the planning officers to refer members to any late comments or updates received since the agenda was issued. The late items agenda supplement has been published on the Council's website and hard copies have been circulated to you. The planning officers will then give a brief presentation, setting out the application plans and photographs from the site. After this, the Chair will ask each of the speakers to speak to the committee. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to put forward their views. There will be a reminder given by the clerk when 30 seconds remain. At the end of a speaker's 3 minutes, members of the committee will have an opportunity to ask the speaker questions, if necessary, in order to clarify any points they have made. When we have heard from all of the speakers on an application, the Chair will open up the meeting for debate by the committee and ultimately determination by a vote. The votes will be taken by roll call. Once the application which a speaker has come to speak on has been dealt with, then they may leave the chamber. But if they choose to remain, they will not be allowed to participate further from that point. Now, as you're aware, this meeting is being live streamed and a recording will be placed on the Council's website. Please note that others may choose to copy it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We'll now move to the application NED/21/0188/FL Ashover. This is the proposed extension at the Peak Edge Hotel. In line with our normal practice, I'm going to ask the planning officers to tell us about any late comments, reports that have been produced, and to give a brief presentation showing any photos and plans of the site. I will allow the officers to complete their presentation. Consequently, members, could you please reserve any points of order or questions about the process until the end? There will be plenty of time for questions later. Graham, I believe you're doing the presentation.
Just before Graham comes in, Chair, we've just got one further late reps to report to members that was received at 6 o'clock last night, so it wasn't included in the late comment report that members received yesterday afternoon. Chair, the representation comes from a Mr. Round who lives on Matlock Road, and he states that the scheme has business and employment merits and improves on the original lodge scheme. However, in his opinion, there remain objections to the scale of this proposal and its effect on the local area. The primary concern that he has is with water supply. Water supply in the area is via boreholes, springs, or wells. The proposal would put pressure on this, in his view, especially in the dry summer months, potentially restricting water to others and potentially making other properties uninhabitable. He also raises the issue of foul drainage, Chair, and he says that foul drainage should be managed such that this is leading to no contamination of the ground or water supplies. And finally, he says if the development does go ahead, he will hold the developer and involved councils jointly responsible for any impact on the quality and quantity of water supply and any contamination. Just to clarify on those points, Chair, these issues are addressed in the officer report. I'll be happy to take any questions as appropriate later. And now I'll hand over to Graham, who'll take you through the various elements of the application.
Thank you. When you're ready, Graham.
Hello, could everybody see my screen? I'm just having a few issues. Can everybody see that?
Yep, you're up and running.
Okay, excellent. So good afternoon, members. Hope you're all right. So the first item, as has just been discussed, is the proposed extension to hotel to include 29 additional bedrooms and a spa suite with a small pool and treatment rooms and associated alterations to the adjacent landscape, including creation of a new biodiversity area with pond, bunds and planting. This is a major development and we've received amended plans, and this is at the Peak Edge Hotel, Darley Road at Ashover. So this first slide you can see, this highlights the site.
There's no slide showing, Graham.
Just bear with me. Apologies.
Graham, we can see your screen, but not the slides.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, so just bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me a second. It seems to have gone a bit haywire. Is that better?
Yeah, that's it.
Jackpot. So apologies about that. So can everybody see the site location plan?
That's fine.
Perfect. So yeah, apologies for that. So this first slide, you can see the site edged in orange. You can see the existing hotel and the public house. The land holding extends to the south. You've got Darley Road here to the north of the site, and you've got Matlock Road here to the east. To the immediate east of the site is a property called Myrtle Grove. That's this property here. And you've also got a barn that's been recently being converted into a dwelling. That sits there. To the west of the site, you've got a few more, a range of properties here. And as you go up Belland Lane, you can see here down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, this is the Stone Edge Smelt Mill. That's a scheduled ancient monument. And as you move along the road here, you've got a number of other properties that are just outside the shot here to the south of the application site. So this is just a clearer site plan and an existing arrangement on site. Next slide. This is the proposed extension to the hotel. This is the amended scheme that we're considering today. So the original scheme kind of followed the edge of the boundary site. The amended scheme has just been turned slightly and pivoted away from the boundary, just to take into account some issues that we had with potential for noise and outlook issues from the upper floor balcony that's been removed from the site and moved to the western roof slope. You can see on the proposal, we've got this landscaped area. We've got some kind of raised bunding and a wildlife pond. So hopefully that's clear. So these are the proposed elevations for the hotel. You can see the proposal as amended includes ground and first floor accommodation with balconies. Upper floor balconies, as I've just mentioned, in the roof space have been shifted from the eastern elevation to the west, and the extension will be constructed from coarse stone and slate roof. So this next slide, this illustrates the proposed spa, which will be constructed again from coarse stone, and it'll have feature glazing and timber framework, just have a lighter kind of feel to the main extension. So the next elevation plan, this is the proposed extension and its relationship with the existing hotel. So you can see the proposal here in the top right, and this is the existing hotel and pub complex with various extensions added on over the years. So the next few slides, these are some visualizations provided by the applicant. So this is the entrance into the extended hotel, which will be from the car park. You can just make out in the bottom right hand corner, you've got a little plan. So the little red dot just shows where the photograph is kind of taken to give that visualization. So this next one from the southwest, just looking back towards the spa area and the little sunken terrace. This is just another angle of the spa. This is from the west, looking across the existing pond that's already on site, back towards the spa and the hotel extension. This one is just another alternate view from the southeast towards the spa. And then this final one is, this is the penultimate one, apologies. So this is just another spa, another angle of the spa building. So the final visualization is just an internal shot, just for artist's impression, really, just give you an idea of what that space will feel like. So this slide is quite important and is referred to in the officer report. So this is a slide to show the plan of the 2015 extant permission, which was granted by members of Planning Committee in 2016. You can see that the proposal includes an engineered road and 20 lodges located to the south of the application site. So to be clear, the applicant is willing to enter into a unilateral undertaking legal agreement with the council to not build this scheme out in return for the proposed extension being approved today. So hopefully that's quite clear of what was approved in 2016. And this is just one photo from yesterday. So members that attended the virtual site visit yesterday will have seen a kind of comprehensive set of photos. I just thought this one was probably the most important. And this is a view from Bell End Lane, looking north towards the application site. And you can see the existing, like the pub and the hotel's extension there. The proposal will just extend in this area here. And you can see Myrtle Grove to the east, the boundary treatments and the barn conversion a little bit further along. And Chair, that concludes the presentation.
Thank you. And we'll move to our first speaker, which is the applicant, Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, you have 3 minutes when you're ready. Microphone on.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Planning Committee and the Planning Department. Thank you for considering my application today. Most of you will be aware I'm a local businessman. All my businesses are based here in North Derbyshire, including Global Brands, a drinks company, which is based at Claycross, and also the Casa Hotel. My father, Santi, owned the Red Lion back in the 70s, and it was the best restaurant in the area, very often known the famous Red Lion. Unfortunately, he died when I was just 19 and the business was sold. I have lived in the area and Stonehenge for most of my life. I eventually built my successful drinks business and the Casa Hotel, which many will know and agree it is a great asset to the town. And we employ 350 people. I bought the Peak Edge Hotel over 4 years ago, and I was initially very excited about the lodges. However, as I developed the business and the food, and particularly food and beverage, I found there was greater demand for high quality accommodation and also leisure. I also had many discussions with local residents, some who were very concerned about the visual impact of the lodges. So I then looked at a scheme to increase the number of bedrooms instead of the lodges, and then working with the planning authority and the Midland Design Panel and my own design team to exchange a planning permission for the lodges, and we eventually came up with a scheme you have today. My aim is to build the only 5-star hotel in Derbyshire and fill a gap in the market where there's a lack of top quality accommodation, particularly in North East Derbyshire and Clay Cross. I want to have a hotel and facilities I am personally very proud of and a centre of hospitality excellence. We're very fortunate here in Chesterfield to have a great catering college and a fantastic beauty therapy college. And we already work at Global Brands and the hotels on training and apprenticeships. This will provide additional career opportunities to many local people and also help the local tourism market. Our business plans show we'll generate 49 full-time equivalent jobs, as well
30 seconds remain.
As well as encouraging tourists to the area, which will benefit existing and local business and tourist attractions. We're very keen to work with the parish council and any local community projects, and I believe my design is sustainable and in keeping with the area and will give many people the opportunity to enjoy our beautiful county, our lovely countryside, and it'll be a fantastic local facility for the community.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Councillor Armitage.
Thank you, Chair. How many people do you employ at the moment at the Peak Edge?
At the Peak, about 50.
Right. So you're going to increase it by a number of how many?
By another 49.
Right. So you're nearly doubling it.
Yeah, because it will be a 24/7-day-a-week operation, and also because of the spa, we'll need beauty therapists and treatment specialists, and because we want to go for the AA 5-star rating, that means we have to improve the quality. For example, we have to have a concierge on all night. We have to give 24-hour room service. So it'll be quite labour intensive.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Perez.
Thank you.
Charlotte, you know the drill.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to work on this design-led scheme. We hope you can see the quality from the images we've shown. This includes elements such as glazing set back to reduce light spillage. A thorough design review panel event was held at the pre-application stage. The application includes a design and access statement, planning statement, transport statement, design strategy, heritage impact assessment, ecology reports, and a detailed landscape master plan. At 8.9 of your officer report, it is confirmed there are no technical drainage, water supply, contamination, or stability concerns. The borehole water supply will be upgraded with a new pump. At 7.77 of the report, it is confirmed that water supply is covered by separate legislation and licensing. There will be a new significant wildlife area to the east, and the scheme would achieve biodiversity net gain. Derbyshire Wildlife Trust have welcomed the proposals. The scheme was amended to reposition the extension and move the top floor balconies to the other side of the building to reduce any perceived impact on the neighbour. The neighbouring house is 48 metres from the boundary and 100 metres from the spa. The applicants wish to create a tranquil experience for their guests. There will be no noise issue for the neighbours. This extension would be built instead of the lodges you've previously approved. We have already submitted a completed legal agreement which ensures that the scheme of 20 two-storey lodges will not be constructed if this extension is built. The family lodges would be spread out across the fields to the south of the hotel, whereas the extension would be positioned much closer to the existing buildings. The floor area of the extension is smaller than the 20 lodges, and the use of the lodges would cause more disturbance potentially. Your planning officers, National Park Authority, Council's independent landscape consultant, and the County Council Heritage Advisor all agree that the current proposal would have significantly less impact than the approved lodges. The committee report doesn't identify any significant areas of harm. The benefits far outweigh any harm, and these are some of the benefits. A sustainable high quality design, work for local contractors, 49 jobs including apprenticeships, increased tourism, increased weddings and other events which benefit local businesses such as florists
30 seconds
and
remain.
photographers, high quality spa facilities, a brand new wildlife site and extensive native tree planting. A truly 5-star venue North East Derbyshire can be proud of. We ask you to support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Excuse me, Chair, just before members go on, just for the record, that was Charlotte Stainton, who's the agent for the application. Thank you.
No questions? Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for the officers, planning officers? Councillor Hall?
Yeah, thank you. In our late sorry, I'll just find it. One of the comments was from a neighbour, and it's about, sorry, let me just find it. On page 6, second down, it says, well, where the first dot is, in dealing with a previous proposal for a detached garage with a room above at our property, we were required to reduce the size of the building and to remove the proposed balcony in order to reduce any intrusion into the countryside. This judgment on balconies should be consistent between applications on adjoining sites. I just wondered what comparison that we have to take into account on this, the previous application. Sorry, I've literally just read this late comment, so and I've not got my iPad to compare. So what do we have to take into account between this previous application on another site and the one before us, please?
Which one of you gentlemen want to answer that? I don't find it really relevant at this point because the balconies have been changed to overlook any properties.
Chair, if I can perhaps start and try and assist Councillor Hall, and if Graham's got something further, he might come in following that. But as we often advise planning committee, each application needs to be considered on its own merits in light of the development plan and the relevant policies. And our assessment of this proposal is based on the council's up-to-date local plan and its policies, particularly in respect to tourism. In respect of other applications, it's difficult to transpose issues that were considered as part of what I presume was a householder application, and I don't know enough details in respect of that to assist Councillor Hall with the exact details. But in terms of design and impact, in terms of the householder application, it will be a similar consideration in terms of the wider impact of extensions to that property. I presume a much smaller property in that case. In this instance, where you're talking about a different set of circumstances relating to the application. In particular as well, Chair, I'd draw members' attention to the issues that Graham mentioned earlier and also set out in the report regarding the fallback position. And certainly in this instance, we are placing weight on that, whereas in respect of the issue that Councillor Hall raised, I don't know if that would have been a consideration in that instance. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I'll just chip in there if that's okay. Just to be clear, I think that the upper floor balconies were moved from the eastern elevation to the west. So there still are ground and first floor balconies, but we took the view that the impact would not be detrimental on neighbouring residents' amenity and privacy. Hope that clears that up.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions? No, thank you. I'll open the floor for debate if anyone wants to. Councillor Armitage.
Thank you, Chair. I remember when I was on the committee when the first one was approved, and yes, there were one or two problems which were overcome, and it was passed. I don't know if it was unanimous. I can't remember quite that far back. As far as this application is concerned, as far as I'm concerned, it's far superior to what was first done with the actual bungalows. It'll enhance the amenities in the area, and as far as there's a load of trees which were put in before, and this is they've grown up now, and I mean the photographs don't really show them in their full light because they're not in leaf, but I can assure you that when they are in leaf, you know, it adds to the what shall I say, the landscape area and the impact that it has. It is a plan which will help the rural economy, both in the terms of people that it's going to have working there, the increase of 40 odd people. You know, that's a heck of a lot. And also there'll be local suppliers who will supply them. And I think the benefits of this far outweigh any of the problems which have been brought up with the water and sewage disposal and one thing and another. He's already said that they're going to put a bigger pump in. So, you know, I've had experience with boreholes, having put one in on my farm. And yes, there are lots and lots of rules and regulations which you have to adhere to. And what you do if you start, well, I never had one that ran dry, and we were using a hell of a lot of water. I mean, it was supplying 120 dairy cows, and quite frankly, they drink something like 20 gallons of water each a day. So we overcame any problems with those. And I'm sure that any problems can be overcome here, because if there was a problem, who was it going to affect most? It was Mr. Perez and his business. So he's going to make sure there's plenty of water there. And as for the swimming pool and what have you, well, it's an asset to the hotel, and we should go for it. We need a 5-star hotel in northeast Derbyshire because there isn't one. And I support this application, but I'm not going to move it just yet, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else want to put in for the debate? Councillor Hartsell?
Yeah, really, just to agree with a lot of the sentiments that William said. I think the benefits of this proposal far outweigh any detriment or impact. So I'm supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's nobody else ready for debate, I'm going to propose that we actually accept the main recommendations by the officers to grant permission subject to the conditions and the legal agreement. Is there a seconder?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Armitage. If you want to do a roll call.
Thank you. If members could clearly state for, against or abstain. Councillor Armitage.
For.
Councillor Cooper.
For.
Councillor Foster.
For.
Councillor Hall.
For.
Councillor Hartshorn.
For.
Councillor Liggett. For. Councillor Powell.
For.
Councillor Ridgway. For. Councillor Rouse.
4.
And Councillor Rough.
4.
That's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And good luck. Thank you. Adrian, do you want to take us through item 6, planning appeals?
I will, Chair. There's very little to report. As members will note, we've just had the 3 appeals that have been lodged in the past 4 weeks. Although members will note that over the past 3 days, I think we've had 2 appeals that have been handed down to us, and we'll report those in due course and comment as appropriate, Chair. But I'm happy to take any questions if members have any.
Any questions for Adrian? No, thank you. I have no urgent business, so thank you all very much. Alan, is Richard going to do a presentation?
As I understand it, Chair, yes. I'm not sure whether he's actually online yet, but we can soon get him online. If members would just bear with us a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.